Unbelievable.
Moving on to the last
Very last item of the evening.
The very last item of the evening, guys. So this was a big one. Josh Whedon finally broke his silence. He had an interview on, what is it, the Vulture website or magazine or whatever, and he let it all out. And one of the things that it's okay. Look, guys, let me just break this down. This guy hasn't said, since the allegations of him being one of the worst guys to work with, very difficult, very mean to his cast, misogynistic.
Sexist.
I mean,
Yeah.
it all started coming out of the woodworks once Ray Fisher from Justice League said his piece. Then what was it? What's her name? Carpenter from Buffy said something.
Mm-hmm.
Then slowly but surely, then it all started to come out. 2 years this guy hadn't said anything. 2 years, and now.
But I tell you what he did. He fired his publicist.
He must have.
And then he did an interview.
Because he did this this whole interview. This is a very long and detailed interview. You're thinking, okay, this guy's. I'm thinking when I'm about to read this thing, this guy is about to lay it all out. He's probably going to be very apologetic. He's going to let it all come out. Hey, like, you know, I'm sorry that I gave them this experience. I shouldn't have done, something like that. No, what does this guy do? Ray Fisher, I don't know why he's complaining. He's not even a good actor. Oh, Gal Gadot said I threatened her. That girl can't even speak English. What?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What? Where's his, Sarah, you just said it. Where is his publicist right now? What do you think is going on here?
They're fired, obviously. He fired his publicist.
Shit.
And
Just went off.
either doesn't have one or nobody is keeping it, nobody's there to convince him to not do this.
To just not.
To just not. Like, he would have been just better not saying anything until people forgot about this and then coming back to work later. They do that all the time. Take a break.
Or if he wanted to speed up the process, he could have accepted what was being said. I have to take full responsibility and apologize to you for giving you that experience. I shouldn't have done it. I'm not going to BS and say it was a different time or I'm just going to look you in the eye and apologize.
There's nothing else he could have done to redeem himself. Even if what everybody said, even if it was just an ounce of truth in one thing that everybody said, and I'm not saying that anybody lied, but I'm just saying if what they said was blown out of proportion, they made it bigger than it was, or he didn't intend it to be taken that way, or something like that. At this point, all he can do is fall on the sword and apologize to redeem himself. But
right. He chose violence.
Yes,
He
he chose violence.
What do you think? What do you think about this whole thing, Danny?
He chose war. I'm guessing this is all because of how the Snyder Cut happened.
Damn it! You took it from me. I was just about to say that the guy saw the Snyder Cut and lost his damn mind.
He's like, of course it was hard for him to take that place anyways. Like, they should never I feel like they shouldn't have done that to him in the first place. Have him take over the movie, and everybody wanted to see Zack Snyder's vision. But now we're doing.
You really couldn't blame Warner Brothers because Josh Whedon just knocked out the first two Avengers movies, and they wanted to see if they could bring that magic to the DCU.
It's just I feel like.
But you're right. The way they did Zack was kind of dirty, but.
And it's just I feel like I feel like Joss Whedon wasn't the director to use for DC because we knew from his first two Avenger movies they were not as dark. They were more light. But that was the direction that DC wanted to go. They decided to shift gears. That was their decision. I feel like it was a bad decision.
Well, in hindsight, but if it would have worked.
Oh yeah, but I just feel like DC isn't like how Marvel should be.
I agree. DC should have stayed the course and stayed on their path, and because Marvel was, but it's hard. They were being reactionary. Marvel is crushing it. They just knocked out this Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and it was very lighthearted and stuff. Maybe we're being too dark. They announced that they were going to be dark and realistic and whatnot, and from the very beginning, I personally would have stayed that course, but Disney's Marvel's on the other side making billions, and Warner Brothers is like, I want to make that money too.
The problem with that is. They shouldn't have ever tried to play catch up.
That's what the problem is.
You released Man of Steel and then you did, oh, let's do a team up movie. We're just trying to like
they were trying to catch. They were
it's
trying
like
to.
You should have just built your universe how the MCU did.
But they're just now learning that lesson.
They don't want to do that.
Yeah,
they don't want to.
They didn't want to. Then it backfired. Now they're learning their lesson.
But now you see, like, oh, you just had an excellent movie, the Snyder Cut version of Justice League, that all your fans loved. But oh no, we're gonna reboot everything and not give the fans what they want, which is, I think, a big mistake, because everybody wanted to see a Justice League 2 for Zack Snyder, because they loved what they saw, they loved in the first one now. And now it's like, Josh Whedon's like, they don't have my movie, and now he's like, all these stars are complaining how I am, and it's just, I feel like Josh Whedon should have put in that spot in the first place, because the fans wanted Zack Snyder's Justice League from the start, and they got Josh Whedon's version, and like nobody wanted that from the first place, and so I feel like they shouldn't have done that to Whedon at all.
That's true.
And so, like, I mean, I understand why he's frustrated, but like, it's really Warner Brothers' fault.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion. It was just Warner Brothers keeps screwing up, and they need to fix this.
I mean, aside from all that, what the complaint is that he's being threatening and awful.
Well, then yeah, you shouldn't do that though.
Yeah.
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 So regardless of his actual work, don't be an asshole.
Exactly.
Buffy, right here on people.com, Buffy alum, Charisma Carpenter, Michelle, is it Trachtenberg and Amber Benson have since accused Whedon, 57, of abusive behavior on the set. At the time, Geller said that she doesn't want to be forever associated with the name Josh Whedon, despite her love for the show. She goes, I stand with all the survivors of abuse and am proud of them for speaking out. She wrote, that was, I mean, the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this interview, if this was supposed to be Josh Whedon's redemption story, we were just talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel for a second ago. Look, James Gunn is the perfect example of this. He said he used to say some crazy crap on Twitter back in the day, and he got into this little back and forth with this politician. Politician called him out for his tweets from back in the day. It eventually got him fired from Disney. Warner Brothers scooped him up. That's another example of it. Warner Brothers took a Marvel guy and made a movie with him, and then but the difference between James Gunn and Josh Whedon is that James Gunn, by the time that he got quote unquote canceled, he had since stopped doing those crazy tweets that he used to be doing when Twitter was young, and he since addressed it. He apologized for it and said, I don't know what the heck I was doing back then. I was an adult. That was stupid, and I haven't done those stupid tweets in years. And
I mean, that's all you have to do. We've all done dumb stuff when we were younger.
His current actions were proving that he had moved past that. Josh Whedon obviously hasn't gotten there yet, because 3 days ago his response is, that girl can't even speak English.
I'll go out and publicly attack everybody.
Ray Fisher, that guy from Broadway, he can't even act. What?
Yeah, I feel like he didn't respond well.
Not at all.
No,
he fired his publicist and then just went out and took the first
this
interview
wasn't very professional at all.
Came to him.
He's like, hey, this is Josh. What do you think, Josh? What should I do? Oh, I think you should take the high ground and be humble.
I think he shouldn't take an interview at all.
So what you're saying is I should take the interview and I should bash my accusers.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All I heard was do it. Fired. Got it. Brilliant. This'll work. Ray Fisher on the same website. Ray Fisher says Josh Whedon had 2 years to get his story straight after the director denied misconduct. Ray Fisher is speaking out following the publicity of Josh Whedon's New York Magazine article in which he denied allegations of misconduct. Ray Fisher was out there for a long time by himself. With these accusations, and it finally, and then when the floodgates started opening up, then it really.
He definitely started it all. I remember hearing about it.
I bet that had Josh Whedon's ego really going up when Ray was by himself with this, and it just made him look like a bitter actor who just got his scenes cut. Mm-hmm. But then when it proved to be mostly these accusations aren't just one accusation, there's multiple. Yeah. Ray Fisher is.
something
They owe
about-
Ray Fisher that Cyborg movie. If you ask me,
yeah.
that's just me.
I just feel like Warner Brothers just needs to step up their game. Stop trying to copy and catch up, and just take your time.
Well, that's what Flash is gonna do. Flash is gonna reboot this whole thing, and Josh Whedon is getting erased from the Flashpoint. Will fix the whole thing.
But it's also erasing the better parts of.
Hey, you can't win them all.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
it's erasing all their good movies too.
So, guys, well, let us know what you guys think. Tell us what you think about all the topics that we talked about.
Our supporters help make all this content possible, so make sure you check out our Patreon page so you can help us bring you the content you want.
Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy metal. Yo. Turned up on another level. Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy metal.